What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I am giving you guys, of course, the last of the Speed Duel starter deck, Duelist of Tomorrow Duelist, and the deck that will be focusing on them from this amazing starter deck that launched the Speed Duels for the TCG. Of course, you knew I had to save my queen for last. It was only apparent that I made sure that she was the last one that I did because, of course, you know I'm going to be extra for my queens, the Harpies, and their sisters, the Amazones. Because, of course, we are now going to take the look at Miss Mai Valentine. And for Mai, they gave her the Amazonas Village. Actually, kind of really cool to pair that off with the Harpies in terms of comparing, adding this with Harpies in their support cards. But there aren't too many Amazonas cards in this deck. If you did manage to buy more, you can either build Harpie or you can build Amazonas. It's funny enough that they combine both of these, which is an homage to Miss Valentine herself, who in Battle City, she used both Amazonas, a mixture of very beautiful female monsters with attitude, her Harpies, and her Amazonas, to basically make her way to the top 8 of the Battle City tournament. While she unfortunately lost due to bullshit in the anime and the manga, my queen, Miss Valentine, definitely made sure that you do not try Miss Valentine. Hold on one second. So anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be taking a look at Mother Valentine and the deck that is associated with her. Now, to talk about her field spell, the Amazonas Village. It is a field spell that powers up all Amazonas monsters by 200 attack. Once a turn, when an Amazonas monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Amazonas monster from your deck whose level is equal to or less than the Amazonas monster in the graveyard. So, hells yeah, this is a great way to speed up the process of putting more Amazonas monsters onto the board and being able to just, set up for things. Because this is a card that was released in Duelist Revolution, aka DRAV, with, of course, the infamous card known as Pot of Duality and Solemn Warning. So, hells yeah, there was a lot of things that were associated to that and just the overall associating lineup. Now, to add on to that in its amazing glory, there's a couple of cards in here that we're going to focus on for both archetypes. And oh, I cannot wait to talk about them. So, why don't we go ahead and we get started? So, just like the other duelists, there will be a list of the cards in the back of the starter decks in case you want to see which ones they are. So, for Miss Valentine, they of course gave her her Harpies. Harpie Lady 1, Harpie Lady 2, and Harpie Lady 3. And what do they make up when they combine their forces? Well, they're the Harpie Lady sisters. Then to go into that, we also have her Amazonas. Amazonas Chainmaster, Amazonas Swordswoman was the cover of the deck for her. We also have Amazonas Sage. And then we have 2 copies of Birdface, followed by 1 copy of Sonic Shooter. Alright, and that is it for all of the monsters. We're now going to move on into the spells. And for the spell cards, we have 2 copies of Elegant Egotist, followed by 1 copy of Triangle Ecstasy Spark, 1 copy of Cyber Shield, and 1 copy of Harpie's Hunting Ground. To associate with that, there is 1 copy of the Amazonas Heirloom. Yeah, 1 card for the Amazonas. I don't know why, but that's what they did. Alright, then moving on from there are the trap cards. We have 1 copy of Amazonas Archer, 1 copy of Windstorm of Ataqua, 1 copy of Shadow of Eyes, and 1 copy of Wild Tornado. And that rounds out all the spells and trap cards for the Harpies. And for Miss Valentine, the Harpies and the Amazonas. Moving on from there, we are now going to go for the skill cards. The first one up is Aroma Strategy. The second one is Flight of Harpies. And the last one is Tribal Synergy. So that is it for all of the cards. So let's give some backstory into Miss Valentine. Miss Valentine has never received a structure deck similar to, well, Mrs. Shizu Ishtar. Why they gave Miss Ishtar for the duel for, you know, Kaiba and to associate with both uh, Pegasus and Yugi, because they're, holders of the Millennium items. The Duelist of Tomorrow gave us our queen as my Valentine. And her strategy of beautiful women that are deadly in combat and will whip your ass, but look elegant while doing it. So, to start it off, of course, are my queens, my ladies, the girls, the Harpie ladies. As we all know, in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, the Harpie ladies are very much restricted due to the fact that, well, Harpie Lady 1, 2, and 3, and Cyber Harpie Lady are always treated as Harpie Lady. It's actually imprinted in their card, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Luckily enough, Konami did print other Harpie monsters to have the effects of their names become Harpie Lady while they're on the field in the graveyard, so it overwrites that whole 3-of rule situation and gives a big middle finger to that situation that Konami put themselves in. But also to the fact that, well, if you don't want to run 2 and 3, you're still able to run multiple copies of Harpie Lady 1. You can switch it to Cyber Harpie Lady, or you can even play Vanilla Harpie Lady. I do believe Vanilla Harpie Lady was not printed for Speed Duels. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But I do know Cyber Harpie Lady has made her appearance in, I think, the first Battle City box that was printed for Speed Duels. So if you just want to run around with maybe your Cyber Harpie Lady setup or your Harpie Lady combo between Cyber Harpie Ladies and any of the other Harpie Ladies, you're more than welcome to do that. Because they did. And overall, like I said, these are pretty standard for the Harpie archetype. Harpie Lady 1 gives 300 attack. Harpie Lady 2 negates the effects of any flip monster she destroys by battle. And Harpie Lady 3, whenever she battles, your opponent's monster cannot declare an attack for the next 2 until the end of your opponent's next 2 turns. So it's a pretty big lineup of things to, well, slow down the process, negate effects, or just be a big beat stick. So, yay to my queens. And of course, as we all know, when these 3 Harpie Ladies combine their forces, they become the Harpie Lady Sisters, who of course are a combination of 1, 2, and 3. Just that they're not wearing the cyber shields that they're wearing here in the artwork. As well, Harpie Lady 1 is not holding the whip that she's holding, which of course also hints to the Harpies lineup of BDSM. I'm not getting into more details than that. But yeah, this is basically the starting lineup that they give for my Valentine if you want to play with her Harpies. Now, if you want to play with her Amazonas, they give you Chainmaster, Swordswoman, Sage, in that case as well. Swordswoman is probably one of the bigger aspects of this because Swordswoman inflicts the damage you would have taken to your opponent instead. There were a lot of combinations and setups to this, as they definitely wanted to make a lineup of things for the Amazonas. And I kind of actually think that was a really cool concept, and they did play upon that in later years, because there was a big wave of Amazonas support, not once, not twice, but 3 times that they gave Amazonas a major amount of supports. The first wave was, of course, just standard stuff that came out throughout the years. Then they got a major wave in Duelist Revolution, where they got the Field Spell, a couple of more monsters like Sage and them, to really build on the things. They even got a boss monster in the form of Amazonas Queen, who made it to where your Amazonas monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. They had Amazonas Heirloom that protected a single Amazonas in case they couldn't get to their queen, and in Village to really help them out at that point as well. So there's a lot of things that really helped out there. Then they got their wave in Legendary Duelist Pack 1, where Mai was featured there with the Amazonas monsters. I believe I am forgetting a wave of cards as well, because I believe because of Grace and Gloria from Arc V, there are also Amazonas cards from them as well, where I don't know if they were a part of a main set. Someone could probably correct me about that if I'm wrong. But between the main set and was released, I do believe that we did get Amazonas Pet Liger and Amazonas Empress. Both being high-class Amazoness monsters that were fusion monsters, because at that time, we didn't expect them to get fusion monsters. They got a whole bunch of fusion support, a whole bunch of new array of monsters to treat themselves as Amazoness Queen, and because they got Amazoness Princess. And just a whole array of things to just help get into their boss monsters, which are either now the Amazoness Liger or the Amazoness Empress. And then there was like two more fusion monsters, which were just upgrades of the Amazoness Empress and Amazoness Pet Liger. And then there was the cute little Amazoness Baby Liger. So yeah, don't fret the Amazoness, because they always have a way to get some really cool support and then just really benefit from it. While focusing on their battle phase strategies, they actually incorporate a lot of that to where they can also incorporate more things to add into it to keep themselves going. It's a really cool concept, and I'm glad that they at least incorporate that between Mai's Harpies and then her Amazoness lineup as well. Even giving her Sage. Next up is the Bird Face, and this is pretty much just here to search for your Harpies. This literally much is just what Bird Face does. And in Sonic Shooter, he's here because he's able to, if your opponent has no spell and trap cards, no cards in the spell and trap card zone, this card can attack your opponent directly. But it'll just do damage based off its original attack, which is 1300. Fair game, fair game. So, yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the monsters. It's pretty solid. And of course, they definitely did make sure to focus on both aspects of the Queen of Duels. Alright, moving on from there, we now go on into the spells. You notice it's not a Harpie deck if it didn't have Harpie support cards. Rocking 2 Elegant Egotists to speed up the process of putting your Harpies onto the field. When your Harpie Lady Sisters get to that field, you hit them with that Triangle Ecstasy Spark, making their original attack become 2700, and your opponent cannot activate any trap cards and negate the activation of trap cards as well. Then on top of that, we have Cyber Shield to power up our Harpies. And Harpie's Hunting Ground, the field spell for the Harpies to make sure that back row does not do anything. Love it. Then the only Amazoness card, which I'm shocked that there is only one Amazoness card that was given, is Amazoness Heirloom. But I feel like that's not even a niche, because you can just pick up more heirlooms if you want to build the deck to be pure Amazoness. So Amazoness Heirloom is an equipped spell that equips itself to an Amazoness monster. And if that monster were to be destroyed by battle after damage calculation, you destroy, if the equipped monster attacks a monster, destroy the attacked monster. So you basically can't be destroyed by battle, and you can destroy the monster that attacked you. You equip this to an Amazoness Swordswoman, and she's basically a powerhouse. Get Amazoness Queen, and then you're just really just going crazy with this. But yeah, you have the array of support for Harpie. You have this little to decent support stuff for Amazoness. But if you put it together, yeah, you can get some really good decks off of it. We move on from there to now talk about all of the trap cards that are given. First up is Amazoness Archer, which lures your opponent into attacking your monsters, and they have to attack with a decrease of 500 attack. Then we have Server Atakwa, just to switch the battle positions of monsters that your opponent has. So if you want to run over some things, you definitely can, or at least try to. Shadow of Eyes. Oh, I love Shadow of Eyes. Fun fact, Shadow of Eyes' image is actually the eyes of Harpie Lady. And that basically they're just flipping the monsters that are face down, face up, and negating their effect. While in the anime and in the manga, Shadow of Eyes was used to lure male monsters into battling Harpies and then smacking into their mirror wall. Which, even funnier enough, so the only thing it didn't work on was female monsters, but with the power that the Harpie Lady Sisters had, they was strong enough to help them get rid of that female monster. That female monster is Yugi's Mystic Elf. Then we have Wild Tornado in here, and that's just pretty much to fit into the, hey, let's blow this card up ourselves to trigger his secondary ability to blow up a card on the field. So, yeah, pretty standard lineup of things for the Harpies. Not enough Amazoness, but it's just a more combined thing situation. Moving on from there, we do have all of the skill cards for Miss Valentine. So we have Aroma Strategy, which allows you to Look at the top card of your deck at any time. I guess this is just a way to play off of, what Mai did in the anime, where she psyched out Joey for a minute using fake ESP. This actually is a really cool skill to use, because if you combine this with the archetype Hazy Flame, you can never call anything wrong with Hazy Flame. Like, there was actually decks built using my aroma strategy skill and the abilities of the Hazy Flame to really get a deck. And I don't know if they ever gave text for Mai to use the Hazy Flame, but that would have been a nice homage to it. Then we have Flight of the Harpie. So, if you have 800 life points or more, if you lose 800 life points or 1800 life points or more, you can activate this skill. At the start of your next draw phase, you can, instead of drawing, search your deck for any card with Harpie, any card that has any Harpie card, and add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck afterwards, and then flip this card over. Basically, this speeds up the process to get your Harpie cards, which, hey, if we had that in regular Yu-Gi-Oh, that'd be great. Then we have Tribal Synergy, and this is where things get really fun. So, if you control an Amazoness and a Harpie monster, you can reveal them in your hand. If you have an Amazoness monster and Harpie monster in your hand, you can reveal them to then draw a card. If you control an Amazoness monster and a Harpie monster, you draw 2 cards. Each of these skills can only be used once per duel, but it's just even more draw power and synergy for the Harpies and the Amazoness. Funny enough, I think they have even more synergy because I believe they have the same father. According to the lore, I believe the Sirens, the Harpies, and the Amazoness, I think are all Ares children. They're Ares' daughters, and Ares had a lot of kids. He had one with a mermaid or a fish. Then he had with bird lady, wood spirit, a wind spirit, and then he had one with wood spirit. Ares got around. Then again, most of the Greek gods did anyway. Zeus was the whore. Anyway, so my overall thoughts of this is, wow, what a good way to bring Mai and the combination of Amazoness and Harpies into one. God, I wish the actual card game did this and gave Mai and the Harpies some love, instead of just waves and spurts of things. Yeah, I'm throwing that shade. But overall, I am very excited about this. I was very happy to see this lineup, and I am very excited to definitely take this journey with you guys. So with that said and done, guys, my overall thoughts of it is, yay for Miss Valentine. Not only did they give her Harpie some love, they also gave the Amazoness some love, and they even tried to bring them together, which is cool. Let me know in the comment section what you guys' favorite Harpie cards are, what your favorite Amazoness cards are. Would you like to see them do some combination of things to bring the Harpies and the Amazoness together? Because I would. And what was your overall thoughts on the Speed Duel Starter Deck Duelist of Tomorrow? Who was your favorite duelist out of them all? And what was some of your highlights from it? So leave all of that in the comment section below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's going to be a while because I got to upload a whole bunch of videos at once. But it was totally worth it. Thank you guys so much for your support. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps me out tremendously. You hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to the channel. Social media links are in the description box below. And you guys can check out the playlist to follow my content. Thank you guys so much for watching. HCJ signing out.